Hi everyone, welcome back to the Relax and Craft YouTube channel. My name's Fleur and today we're going to be making these beautiful box weave keychains. So these have been around for a long time. They used to be called Scoobies. Kids used to do them with plastic cord, that kind of thing. This is a standard box braid, if you like. But at the moment in 2024, there is a very popular designer brand who are selling these for £310 on their website with no charms or anything like that on them. And they are super simple to make and super cheap to make as well. So once you've made them, you can make them any size you want. You can add charms to them. As you can see here, I've got a couple of little charms on there. You can add charms, you can add gemstones to them, and you need very little materials to make them. So the main body is made from a 4mm paracord. So you can see here we've got our 4mm paracord. We need two lengths of 5 foot. Okay, so not very much at all, and you can buy paracord from quite a lot of haberdashery shops and also bead shops, that kind of thing. And then you're going to need a clip to be able to clip it onto your bag or your keys, whatever you're clipping it onto. So this is just like a big carabiner type clip that I've got here with a keyring. So perfect if you wanted to make it into for your keys, that kind of thing. The other things you're going to need are a lighter just to be able to burn the ends so it doesn't fray, and a pair of scissors. I've just got some 0 cord scissors here, but a normal pair of scissors will work absolutely fine as well. And then if you wanted to add charms, you're going to need some jump rings and some little charms or gemstones, whatever you've got in your stash. These jump ring sizes are 5.5 in a diameter on a 1mm wire, so they go through absolutely perfectly, and you can add them afterwards or as you're going. But I'm just going to show you how to get started with this box weave. So first thing we need to do is we need to find all 4 ends of our paracord, and we're going to singe them. And what this will do is we'll stop it fraying. So inside your paracord, if I just bring this across, inside your paracord is lots and lots of little fine cords, and then the coloured sheath over the top protects it all. So we don't want this to happen while we're weaving. We don't want all this fraying to happen. So all you're going to do is taking your lighter, and I'll just show you on this piece here, taking your lighter, we're just going to burn the ends, just melt the ends, and then wait for it to dry, and then just give it a little squish, and there you've got your end nicely sealed, and no little filaments are going to escape out of there, and it's now, as you can see, not going to fray. So while we're working with it, that's going to be perfect. So to get started, we're going to take our 2 cords, and we're going to find the middle of each cord. So I've got the middle here of each cord. I'm just going to zoom out just ever so slightly. So I've got the middle of my cords, and I'm just going to bring the clasp or your keyring in, and I'm just going to place that through half of it. So it's sitting directly in the middle of our paracord. Okay, now what we want to do is we just want to cross our paracord over. So we're going to have one that's on the bottom and then our paracord on the top. Let me just zoom in for you, with our keychain sitting in the middle. Now what I want to do is orientate this so that the one that's sitting underneath, the lowest one down, is facing north and south. So we're just going to face it north and south. And then what I need to do is I'm going to just hold it between my index finger and my thumb. So I've got my thumb over the top of the keyring and underneath, holding the cords in place. And what I want to do is I'm going to bring the cord that's sitting at north around my thumb twice. Okay, so I've created 2 loops. Okay, so just bring it around twice and then just hold it in place. So I've now got my 2 loops over the top of my thumb. I'm now going to bring the cord which is sitting on my right, so if we were thinking north, south, east and west, the east cord, and I'm going to skip over the top of the loop which is closest, and I'm going to go through the loop which is furthest away. So skipping it over the top of the loop closest and through the loop that's farthest away. Okay, so it looks like this. And then I'm going to take my other cord, which is sitting in the west position, and again I'm going to skip the loop which is closest to this cord and go through the opposite loop. So over and under. And so we have this. So this one has gone over the top of the loop on my left hand and through the loop on that's across to the right, and the bottom cord has gone over the top of the loop which is closest to my right hand and through the loop which is on the left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just start to tighten all of these cords. So this is the most trickiest part, is making the very first sort of like piece. So I'm just going to start to pull all of these nice and tight till we've got our little square. And what we're looking for is we're looking for each cord to be the same sort of like tension all the way through. So we now have this. So this is the starting point of our weave. If I turn it over, you can see that I've just got one cord going around the jump ring or the split ring. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the end of the split ring out of the way, and so I've now got this. So I've now still got my north, south, east and west positions. So you can see I've got north and south and then east and west. Now what I want to do is I'm going to take the cord which is in the south position and bring it over to the north position and create a loop. And then I'm going to bring the cord that's in the north position down to the south and create another loop. So we're now back to where we were a moment ago. We've got 2 loops and we're just holding on to them. It's always handy to have a keychain on there because it is makes it a little bit more something to hold on to. It's not going to be too slippy. You can do them without the keychain on and just do them holding them, but it is a little bit tricky to start with. So then I'm going to take the cord which is on my east side, and I'm going to go over the top of the first loop and through underneath the loop, the second loop. So if we just move that first loop out of the way, we can see that we've got blue to start and then pink. So we're always going to go over the top and through underneath the pink side of the square. Bring that across, and you can see now that is hooked round the first loop and under the second loop. Now the cord that's on the west side, I'm now going to bring over the top of the first loop and through the second loop. So again, we have our little cross formation, and then what I'm going to do is just start to pull all 4 of the cords. You can do them individually or you can do them in like coloured pairs, so do a pink and a blue in this case, and a pink and a blue on that side, and just keep tightening them down until you're happy with your tension. Now, because this is 4mm paracord, it is quite easy to tension it. It's not going to slip. If you're using leather and suede, it can be a little bit more difficult. So now I'm going to turn it so that my pink cords are now north and south. So again, bring the north down to the south and the south up to the north to create my 2 little loops. We always need those 2 loops, which are here, and then taking the cord to the east, over the top of the first cord, through the second cord, so through the second loop, and the one to the west, over the top of the first loop, and through the second loop. And again, you can see we've got that cross hatch formation again. So this one's hooking this pink into place, and the top one is hooking this top pink into place. And again, just taking hold of the 4 ends and start to tighten all of your cords, so it starts to make that lovely square again. Just tighten those, and it might look, you might think, oh, it's not working. It will work. Just keep tightening them, just keep pulling them, each individual one. You can put your thumb on top of it just to help keep that square look. And there you can see we've got our next one. So I'll just do one more with you, and then I will skip forward to how to finish it off. So south up to the north, north down to the south, west over the first loop, east over the first loop, through the second loop, and then the west side one, over the top of the first loop and through the second loop. So it's literally just going through one loop, nothing else, and then just taking hold of all 4 and then just start to tighten and pull them down. Like so. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to carry on going for a little bit longer, and I will come back to you when I've got a full sort of like length that I want for my keychain. So I've gone ahead and done a little bit more of my weaving. Now, if you want to finish this off and have tassels on the end, all you need to do at this point is tie an overhand knot over the top of the last sort of like stitch or box weave, and you can then just tighten a knot and you can have it like so. But I like to finish them off so that they are sort of like fused in place. So let me just undo this so I can show you what I mean. Just undo this knot. So what I like to do is making sure that they're all nice and tight on that last one. I like to just cut about an inch away from the end and then pull back the coloured sleeve, and then all I want to do is trim off quite a lot of this white cord as far down as I can. So I'm just going to trim that away so that I've just left with the actual colour itself. And again, just make sure that it hasn't come too loose. And then trim that right back to about 1 millimetre from the end. So just trim that right back, and then just taking your flame, I'm just going to start to melt that back, and then give it a few seconds and then just give it a little tap just so it pushes it and melts it to where you want it to be. Just melt that little bit back down. And that now has sealed that one end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same on these ends. Now, if you don't want to take the insides out, you want to just cut it and leave it like so. What you can do is just fluff the ends out just to give it a bit more of a surface area. And then just start to melt it down and just give it a little push. Now the only difference with this, doing it this way and not taking the white out of the middle, is you'll be able to see the white dot in the middle, whereas if you do it the other way you won't see it as much. But just for quick demo purposes, I'm just going to trim those last two and just melt them into place. Just be very careful if you're doing this with children. Obviously make sure a sensible adult is doing the burning of the cords, the melting of the cords. And then what I like to do is just go around the outside at the bottom, just start to melt those little bits in. And then just wait a few seconds for it to just cool down a little bit, and then just give it a little tap, or on your board, just make sure that they're all nicely secure, and that now won't go anywhere. And there you have your designer inspired or designer dupe keychain. Like I say, you can then go ahead if you want to and add on charms. So all you need to do is just take an open jump ring and just go through one of the stitches on the side, just literally just feed it through, add your little charms on, gemstones, charms, whatever you've got, however you want to do it, or keep them plain, and you can do them whatever length you want as well. So that's how you make your little paracord keychains. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel. I post lots of different tutorials, box openings, tool reviews, etc. most weeks. And also if you could give this video a little like and a comment, that would be wonderful. Thanks for watching.